My name is Suzanne Vertanen, and I'm the director and founder of DiscoverChange. And I'm here with Ellen Mukwewa. Hi, Ellen.
Hi, Suzanne. How are you?
I'm excellent, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you. It's really lovely to have you here, Ellen, today in Leading Conversations. So thank you so much for taking part. And I've actually known you. We've actually known each other for a couple of years.
Absolutely, more than a
Almost,
couple.
almost 5 years now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
especially last couple of years, we've been working a little bit more closely together on a couple of different projects.
You did.
And I wanted to invite you here today to really share some of your expertise. You're a school improvement consultant, and it's been amazing to see the successes you've had in your field. And even if I may say so, you help schools to obviously really achieve better inspection results. But one key thing and one key achievement I remember that we discussed is even Ofsted has recognized, your input in the sense that what amazing results you've helped schools to bring and change their ways of working. So we are here today, obviously, to share some tips on how you've built your business, to also inspire and give some tips for other people who are maybe thinking about, following that path and building their dream business. But also, what was that key thing that's kept you going, your why? How have you provided those services for other people? And also what success stories you've had along the way, because it's been great what you've helped others achieve in the schools as well, and with their leaders and teams. So Ellen, once again, thank you so much for being here today. And I really look forward to sharing some of these strategies with other leaders and entrepreneurs. So first of all, just very briefly, could you describe who are you, first of all, and what do you do?
Okay. My name is Ellen Mukwewa. I am the founder and director of Marell Consulting Limited. I work as a school improvement consultant. And here at Marell, we support school leaders to do what they do well and consistently better. We do this by working very closely together to build systems that drive school improvement. The systems that we build together incorporate the school's own mission aims, and it also includes the Ofsted inspection criteria, the independent school standards, so that school leaders can be confident that they are actually delivering their school mission, but also they feel always inspection ready, and there is no stress around inspection. Our services involve consulting, training, and notification.
Wow, that's so inspiring what you do. And you've been doing this for a good few years now. And it's been great to see, I see a lot, I follow you on social media, and also that you've been able to help schools go from 4 to 3 to even 2 in terms of grading, so it's great to see that you're creating this positive change in the field and what successes you're creating. So could you tell me a little bit about the reason why you actually started Marell Consulting? I know we met when I was doing some teaching, you were doing some quality assurance, and then we kind of separated for a few years, and we've come back to obviously collaborate on a few different things. So it's been great to see how you've gone from strength to strength. And soon we'll talk also about some of the challenges that you've faced and how you've overcome those. But firstly, what was the reason that you actually wanted to start this business? Because you have expertise in the field quite a lot, don't you, before you started the business in the first place?
I did have expertise in education because I started off as a teacher. In terms of starting the business, I did not plan to start this business. I actually fell into it. And there's a really interesting story behind it, which I won't go into detail about right now. I've written about it in a blog. I've shared it with you before. You know the story. I will just go back to why I ended up doing what I'm doing now. And I've just recently discovered this why, which I know sounds very curious. After many years of doing something and you realize exactly why you're doing it. I do what I do now because it's an extension of who I am, and I'm just going to explain. I was raised by a single mother, And I'm sure all of you out there know how the children of single parents are perceived by society. Expectations by different groups of people about what such children can achieve are very low. So as a young girl, I always felt that from all directions. And I just wanted to show these people that no, I can achieve. I can do well, even though I am the child of a single parent. I wanted to make my mother proud. And so when she would say something as simple as do your best, which all parents say this to their children, I took it to heart and I thought, this is how I'm going to make my mother proud. I'm going to do my best. And I was this child who was always trying to be excellent at everything. Obviously, not managing all the time. I realized that you can't be your best at everything all the time. And as I grew up, I also realized that your best today might not be your best tomorrow, because tomorrow you will know more, you will have more experience, and your best will be better than your previous best. So I started on everything. I would think about what I had done, how well it went, whether it could be done better next time. And I am not just talking about doing this in serious environments like in work. I would do this everywhere, even in my home life. As a mother, after, telling off my daughter, I would replay that little clip in my head and say, was I just to find something different next time? So I became this person who is always trying to do my best, but also reflecting on everything that I do and evaluating it and trying to do it better. So even though I fell into this business, I fell hard. And forgive me for using the language of love here. I fell hard because it was exactly who I am. It was doing having to try. So I was moving from trying to do my best and doing even better to helping others do their best and do even better. And for me, systems was always a central part of this. So being a school improvement partner was brilliant. And then later becoming a school improvement consultant, it was just excellent. So yes, this is why I ended up becoming a school improvement partner, because I love doing my best and doing better every time. And now I can do that for school leaders as well.
Well, I love that, because it really also shows that, you are the spirit of the business in many ways, isn't it? Your core values, being that continuous improver, reflecting, evaluating on your performance and what can you do a little bit better next time. And whereas sometimes that surely can go too far, and there are people almost that, it's almost never quite good enough. So sometimes people go to the point when they're always reflecting and thinking, what else can I do? But that's the extreme end. But it's really amazing how you have been able to transfer that skill set, those values, and the tools especially. That's the most amazing part in also what I've seen that you do and what you've achieved, is building these systems and providing your target audience with, notifications, industry updates, and being able to leverage those systems to really become that influence in your area. People are now seeking for you. They come to you especially after putting yourself out there and showing, concretely what you do, what you stand for. And even sometimes I notice being quite thought-provoking. I remember there was a time when maybe putting yourself out there, not knowing necessarily that why wasn't so clear.
That's true.
And so what do you think changed there in terms of, especially, I remember you put a few posts out there, and I remember you got a really unique contract from that when someone said, wow, this is exactly what we need.
Mhm.
What happened there? Could you just elaborate a little bit? Because a lot of people think, oh, I don't know how to put myself out there. I'm not sure how to communicate my services well. So,
Okay, putting myself out there. I guess I could answer that question in two parts. Um, in general, and also in terms of putting my photo and videos out there. And I can see you smile because you know what I'm going to say, how much you were involved in that part. Um, I had been on social media platforms when I started my business, but I was not active on any of them. I had built a website for the business, but I had not, actively reviewed it to make sure that it was up to scratch. And back when I started working with you, and you helped me with a personal business development program, we looked at all those things, at how I use social media and how I use my website to make sure that people can see the things that I'm doing, and they can see the tools that I'm producing, and have an idea what I can offer them. So I thank you for for your help and support in doing that, in generally putting myself out there. And then specifically about photos and videos, and people will laugh, and maybe a lot of people will it will resonate with a lot of people. Generally, as individuals, we are more critical of ourselves in photos and videos than we are of everyone else.
absolutely.
Right? And then being the kind of person that I am, who is always trying to do my best and better always, imagine how much you need to multiply that discomfort factor by to get to, just how uncomfortable I felt about putting a picture out there. I would analyze it, make sure that everything was perfect. But you kept insisting that, people need to see you, because these people here, when we launched the training, these people here in the training workshop can see what you're doing, but others cannot. So, you need to relax about this and just put these images out there. And then I did. So I really thank you for that. Lately, I'm working with another digital marketing company, and they are, stretching that even further. So
excellent.
I say, to other business owners out there, always look for, the expertise that you don't have. You are an expert in your own area. You might be excellent in that area, but there are certain things that you need to also be good at in order for your expertise to get out there. And you have
Right.
to get help.
Well, you're right. Absolutely. You're 100% right. And sometimes people try, and especially entrepreneurs, they're the doers. They try to become good at everything,
Yeah.
and chipping away at 10, 15 different things at a time, and nothing quite gets done properly. And thank you for your kind words. And actually, but you made the job very easy for us when we built just a basic lead generation process. And actually, you already had all the content. And that's the beauty of it. You had the resources to give to the schools. More so, I saw that, and at least 5-6 different testimonials that said, literally, in a roundabout way, without Ellen, the school wouldn't exist. And I'm thinking, where is all of this information online? And this is the thing, is that people only know what we tell them. And I surely had my own barriers for a very long time with social media as well. So, I'm always thinking, and look, how do I look, and what is everybody else going to say? And I don't want to come across as a pushy salesperson, and this, and so many people go through that same. But actually, what you did is you already to showcase what you had created, the successes you've helped other people achieve. Maybe not so much in the front, but behind the scenes. And when we put that in the front, so many things have just escalated from there. So it's that moment when you just decided to become that source of inspiration, knowledge in your field, and now people are literally coming to you. You raise your prices, and it was great to see that there was that there is such a huge demand for this. And that's the most important part, is that you saw the need in the marketplace. Schools are struggling. So that's so important and it's inspiring that you kept going, because now look at the compound effect you're having. in the students as well. So on that note, what is it that you actually enjoy most about your job, in what you do in school improvement?
I enjoy working with school leaders who truly believe in improvement in general. So I will help everyone who needs help. But there are some people who work with you because they want to move from one grade to the next, but they don't genuinely have a desire to do their best. I enjoy working with people who have a desire to do their best, people who love to improve, because those people are very open. And when we work together closely and build systems, they don't only just accept these systems and contribute to them, they take them and run with them and become, they start to need you less. And might sound counterintuitive, but if people begin needing me less and less, it means that I've done my genuinely want to improve, not people who just want to, move a grade. That's what I enjoy about my job. And also, celebrating the wins. When people get a good grade and they're celebrating and they're so happy and you're part of it, it feels really great. And they send you flowers. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, that speaks for itself, doesn't it? And I think that's the key part to success, isn't it? And actually, I'm glad that you mentioned that, so that we can discuss that briefly. Is the relationships, and it's the value you bring. And so many entrepreneurs, even maybe you and me, we started the business with, I'm doing this for myself. Actually, it couldn't be sometimes further from the truth. Eventually you do it for yourself, but actually at the heart of everything you do is providing excellent value to other people. Yeah. And I love what you just said there, and that indeed is the key to business success, is that it's not that you are the hero who shows up and helps everyone, is that you're the hero who creates more heroes. That's the best kind of business model possible, is that you create more heroes who go out there and implement. And the fact that you say the biggest success is not that I win a 3-year contract, it's that we have a few months of work and then they don't need me anymore because they've become self-sustainable.
Yes.
And that's why you become and are becoming constantly improving and becoming a bigger and bigger success, because people follow successes. There's this saying that success leaves clues, and, like attracts like. You've created successes within those schools. The testimonials say, wow, when Ellen came in, we had no idea what was going on and about the processes, what roles and responsibilities were, teachers needed training. You showed up, put the process in place, brought that clarity and focus. So it's so powerful what you're not doing just to the school, but just to the learners as well, and even their parents, their families. So it's really amazing. And I think, when you talked about your why earlier, I love that. It's that, helping really other people to improve, because you have that mentality. So all what you want is transferring that mentality. Mm-hmm. And I love how you talk about that as well. And just briefly, what I think you do so incredibly well using social media as well, you very openly talk about, the inspection, Ofsted, your schools having that fear of them, but actually that Ofsted is your friend. It's there to help you to be better, maintain standards. So I just wanted to mention that, because so many people struggle to produce online content. Mm-hmm. So, when at the start you mentioned, you created all these great things, but what would you say to someone who is maybe, is an expert, is a specialist, has lots to share? How could they put that on social media? What sorts of things have you done, for example?
In terms of creating content, I mentioned earlier that I am working with another digital marketing company at the moment. They have been very great at helping me with that. First of all, helping me relax about sharing my opinion about things that may not be so common. So, I have an opinion that might be controversial, and I'm too scared to put it out there. And, they kind of helped me in the same way that you did help me at the beginning with the putting content out there in the first place, putting my photos out there. Now it's about putting, my opinion of things, sharing personal things that have happened to me, and also sharing my thoughts about what's happening in general in the world. And there is a lot of planning that goes on behind the scenes. So right now, as we are sitting, the content that will be published for the next 2 weeks on my social media platforms has already been written. It's out there. So I now use, one of those apps. I use an app called Otter. So,
yes.
Right, if you are, asleep and you wake up at 2 a.m. and you've got this idea, you just speak into your phone, and then I just send all those ideas across, and I send all those articles across, and they're turned into posts and many different things. So again, I am being helped by a company much like yourself in putting all of this stuff out there.
Absolutely. And obviously they are very much focused on that digital marketing aspect, whereas we are much more systems focused and the lead generation based on that sense. But absolutely. And it all comes together. That's the thing. And some people are very good at creating the products, but not maybe the marketing that leads to the products.
Yes.
Some people are then excellent at the marketing, but not actually having anything to sell.
Yes.
So that is such an important part of social media activity. And just to kind of summarize what you just said there, and that, whoever may be thinking, I need to improve my social media presence, put myself out there. You mentioned a great app, Otter. So getting yourself organized, recording ideas, and actually starting to share opinions about trends in that area, what affects that. So often, people are like, I have no idea what to put out there. They're worried that it might not be true or right, or what's everybody else going to think about. But by just putting that out there and interesting content, engaging, and also engaging with other people, isn't it, in your area, so important. And so many people think that they have to be perfect at all the platforms. Whereas actually that's a bit of nonsense, isn't it?
It is. It is. In my case, LinkedIn is ideal for generating leads. I have an outreach program that has been mapped out for me, which works perfectly on LinkedIn. And I also engage with my clients on Twitter. Facebook, for me, not so much. I do have a presence there, but it's not the greatest for the sort of people that I'm looking to reach.
Absolutely. And that's a good important thing as well to mention about Facebook, because some people completely disregard the existence of some platforms. But actually Facebook, when you just have a simple Facebook page, so many viewers may not know that actually by having your company there, Google optimizes your search results and puts it on the first page. So whenever somebody searches for your page or for your company, obviously all the few first kind of search results is about your business. So that's really important for some people to understand, that think, oh, I don't need any of these platforms. But it's actually just for simply to people to find you. And those first impressions count. So now when they land on your profile and they see immediately you shared industry news, you shared some testimonials and customer successes, you sharing tips, advice, some of it very, very mild, some of it a little bit more thought-provoking. So people are interested in following you, and it's been great to see what it's transformed into, because it clearly is having a result in your business success as well.
I want to say thank you for making me create that company page on Facebook, because I was adamant. I did not want to do this because, I couldn't find any of my people there. But you explained the reasons why it was important, and I did. Well, you created that page for me, and I have maintained it. And when I started working with the new company, they also see the value of maintaining that page there while working with the other platforms. So yeah, I have to thank you for that.
Absolutely. Thank you. And that's good to hear. So, well, just to, we've got another few minutes left. So I would like to talk about just a couple more things. Firstly, what's been maybe the greatest challenge or one of the biggest challenges you've faced in business? And then let's talk about what has been one of the greatest successes and kind of how did those feel? So let's maybe start with what's been one of the greatest challenges that you've maybe experienced? Because let's face it, building your business, doing this alone as well, and even if you have a couple of assistants, there's so much to do, to think, to go through, and especially recently, the turmoil in the economy, it's been reckless, to be fair, for a lot of businesses. So could you share a little bit, because maybe someone else might be sharing or experiencing something similar. So by sharing something, it might give some tips and inspiration to someone else just to kind of just take the next step.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You shared a little bit about what I was going to say, so that's great. The biggest challenge for me was the transition from working as a full-time employed person to a self-employed person, mainly in two areas, which was the financial area, where you move away from having a monthly check to, only earning when you work. And you're working very hard to make sure that you continue earning. And it did put me in some financial difficulties. I'll be honest about that. It did. So, you should, some people are lucky and it works well right from the beginning, but I struggled financially because of it for quite a while. My other main challenge, I know you asked for one, but this one is also important.
Absolutely.
It is the one about working on your own. It's not a good idea. You might be an expert in whatever it is, but you also need to do marketing, sales, many other things. You need to do admin. You need to, record expenses. You need to do so many things that need expertise that you might not have. So right from the beginning, it would be a good idea to accept that this is the case and get help. You can get help in any way that works for you. So you could work with companies like your company, Suzanne, and I'm working with a company called Social Inc. right now, who do the digital marketing. You could get people to support you with admin, people who work part-time or people who you get on these people per hour websites to support you with admin. You definitely need to get a mentor or some sort who helps you navigate it all, someone you can really talk to about what you're going through. You can join business accelerator programs, all of that. And I'll just sneak one other tip in. You will be so busy that you might forget to keep developing yourself. And as someone who always wants to do better, I like to keep developing myself. So I would just remind you to continue developing yourself in terms of your personal development, your business development, and your knowledge and expertise in the area where you're working. So, read books, join networking groups, join accelerator programs, attend training, do whatever you can to make sure that you kind of keep up to date in your area and, you remain an expert. Yeah, that's what I
love that. I love, and I love what you're saying, because many years ago when I was starting out, I didn't want to admit that first. I've been always this person, especially with maybe some experiences from childhood. I was like, you know what, I'm independent. I don't need anyone else. I'm going to figure it out. And besides, I don't have hundreds of pounds or thousands of pounds to give to someone to hire them. So
yes.
No, I'll figure it out. And no, I'll figure it out by myself. Couple of years of that, it was really working not very well in my favor, and so many people I notice are experiencing exactly the same. So it's good what you're saying, that right from the start, even if it's an hour a week for someone else,
yes,
to have the mentality that actually someone else would love to do the social media posting. So if you're struggling with the social media post, someone loves to spend their time in there. So that approach, your weakness is someone else's strength, is such a good approach right from the start. And that's what true leadership is, because it's in business growth. It's all about really unlocking other people's growth potential in one way or another. So it's great what you're saying, and that just to note that one really absolutely key thing, and I think if not the most important thing, it's that shift, that paradigm shift in the mindset from the employee to the employer slash leader slash consultant, you know, the business owner, the entrepreneur responsible for everything. That is a hugely difficult and challenging journey for a lot of people. It's exciting, but it really forces you to look at yourself, doesn't it? Look at yourself honestly and thinking, wow. And without self-sabotaging, asking yourself, what am I doing wrong? It's not very easy to do that, and actually then admitting that that help is available there. And that mindset shift is everything. So I just want to say to anyone who is maybe thinking, you know, am I cut out for it? It takes a bit of time. You even mentioned before that actually a few years into the business, now your why is clear. So you find yourself on the journey. So no one should hesitate going on the journey, because it's there where the excitement and growth happens.
And if I may say, you know, just a little bit about why my why is clear now. It's a combination of things. I started attending therapy about a year or so ago for, you know, various personal reasons. But during therapy, I started learning about myself and exploring a few things about my past and finding out why I do the things I do. So I started understanding myself as a person, and working with you and now working with Social Inc., they kept asking me, why did you start this business? If you remember, when you asked me the question, I told you the story about how I fell into it, but I couldn't actually say why I started it. And now I was being asked the same question again. So it was kind of right there in the background. Why am I doing this? And then I read this book, and I am crazy about this book. I've been raving about it.
What is it called?
Start with Why, by Simon Sinek.
Excellent.
And I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't read it, but it's just kind of created this moment where everything aligned. And then I just got it. I understood why I am the person I am, why I feel this way about school improvement, and why I am running this business. And it changes everything. It makes you feel, this is a simple word, so good. It makes you feel so good. And when you're pitching your business, it's easier. When you're working with clients, it's easier. As soon as your why is clear, everything is easier. So I can't recommend that enough. Find your why. If this is my one big tip for today, find your why. Start by reading the book.
I love what you're saying, and thank you for sharing that. And definitely will everybody should read that book. Everyone absolutely must read it. And that's the thing. So many people saying, even I started, you know, with I'm going to make a lot of money. Now, of course, that being in employment is not the way to make a lot of money. So, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to make lots of money. No. That's another mindset shift that people need to make in order to move to business successfully. Yeah. However, the money isn't the thing. It's just a piece of paper. It means nothing really. It's what that brings, what choices it brings, you know, and how you can help more people with money. You know, you can give it to charities, you can help your family, you can help your own quality of life and go on more holidays, relax. But the real reason, and that's the thing, and actually shouldn't have anything to do with money, it's who you want to help and why. You've gone through that experience in your childhood when you were passionate about learning, but as a high achiever, you didn't probably get as much as you could have. You could have been even stretched more, but there wasn't necessarily tools and resource for someone to say, well, this is how to do it, and this is how, you know, students, just poor teachers, stressed out, not having the tools in order to perform properly. So I love how you see the whole bigger picture, how it's not, okay, maybe you're looking at the system, but actually you see the big picture, that by doing this work, you're creating such quality education for the future generations. And also in schools with, you know, different special needs, which can be difficult, challenging environments. So it's really transformational work that you're creating. And on behalf of everyone that you've helped, thank you, and
Thank you.
carry on doing that. And that's actually, for me, just to share finally here, my passion is helping leaders like you who are passionate about creating that positive change, who will commit and who will go through and climb the mountain if necessary, because they know that something has to be done because of the injustice, because of the need. And now more than ever before, and that's always growing need, but there's so many good leaders are in need right now to step up their game and to come and show up and do something good for the world. And you are absolutely one of those amazing key people who is doing that.
That's humble. Thank you.
So before we finish off, what about you share your greatest success? And maybe that could be a good, nice couple of tips. Well, you've given lots of tips to leaders, entrepreneurs here. So maybe what could you say in that area? What's been your greatest success?
It's going to sound a little bit anticlimactic, but it was the first time I got an inbound inquiry.
Okay.
That's very hard, getting work, but I had to go out there and search for it. And, I'm not saying you shouldn't work hard to get business. You should, but you can't get enough business working that way. You need to get to a point where people are coming to you. And I am getting to that point. And the first time that happened, it's an amazing feeling. And that's it. And you're talking about success in business, right? That's it. Yeah. I mean, there are many other things like, when clients have their successes, I celebrate. Last year, I had a huge increase in business. And so revenue increased. And that was really great. But funnily enough, what really kind of hit here for me was that shift from having to go clients coming and asking to work with me.
That is so powerful, because that shows that, one thing is for sure, all of that content that you created, the months, even, for me as well, sometimes a couple of years of content before someone properly views it. And it's there, and when it's done, when the system is done, somebody comes, consumes your information, looks, hey, she knows her stuff. And all of that time, I just get goosebumps, because I know how hard it is to keep producing, keep creating, even on the slow months, keep going. You mentioned earlier what the biggest, one of the biggest challenges is working alone, for example, and keep going in the darkness, in the joys, and even in the joys when it would be great to celebrate with someone, and it's actually nobody else has any, why would someone want to celebrate that? I just get a notification that says, hey, I'm interested in working with you. That means nothing, but actually for you, it's the result.
Huge.
Yeah, it's huge, because it shows the system works. You've done the right things. You're providing value. It's transparent on your website, on your presence. And that is so important, is that you didn't necessarily spend thousands on advertising. It came organically.
Yeah.
And that's, exactly what, for example, we help people to do, is to build the presence so that organically someone can look at it and say, I think this is the right person. And then magic just happens, because they asked you, could you come to us? And that is a very powerful moment. So that's a great thing. So to finish off, what would be your couple of tips for entrepreneurs? You've given plenty of amazing tips here, and I've written, actually, I've taken a couple of notes as well on what I'm going to read and do. But just to summarize, what couple of tips could you give to someone now, pursuing their dream, building their passion, building their dream business, maybe facing some challenges? What would you say?
I have already mentioned them, but I will reiterate, because I think they are really important.
Yes.
Find your why. everything will be a lot easier if you find out why you are the way you are and why you do the things you do. You might even see that what you're pursuing is not what you should be pursuing, and then you will get on the right track. Or in my case, I found that what I am doing is just perfect for me because of who I am. So that's the first thing. And then secondly, and we've both talked about this during this meeting, that you can't do it all alone. You are an expert, yes, but you are not an expert at everything. So find a way to get help in whatever format works for you. If you want to employ someone and you can, then do. If you want to get an apprenticeship, like an apprentice like you did, then do. If you want to hire someone per hour, then do. Find help. You do need it. And thirdly, don't forget to develop yourself. Yourself as a person, yourself as a business person, and yourself as an expert in your industry. Do everything you can to continue building that.
I love that, how you've broken that into 3 different parts. Oh, that's really nice. I'm going to use that.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you. Oh, fantastic tips, and absolutely. Thank you so much for taking your time to join us, Ellen. And it's really important to keep sharing your journey online, and and what you're doing is really inspiring. It's clearly making a huge difference in the schools and the compound effect on the students. It's really been. It was amazing also when we spent a few months working together. It was great fun. And just great fun to see the quality of the workshops you delivered, and the people absolutely, wow, we've never experienced anything like this. So just to see there that, what you were doing, is really creating a massive difference. So just again, thank you for everything you do. And thank you for joining us. And did you have anything else to finish off with?
Yes, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I really enjoyed it. And I've already given you a recommendation online, and I've said this to you in person, but you made a huge difference to the business when we worked together. So thank you very much for that.
That's great. I'm so glad to hear that. Makes it all worthwhile, and I, and on that note, you made it easy because you are just this incredible person with, just huge capacity to deal with anything that comes on your way, always willing to try even out of your comfort zone, even out of the comfort zone, thinking I'm never going to do this social media stuff. And there you went. And now you've got a huge, just popularity, engagement online, and what you're achieving from there. So it just shows, it's all going absolutely to the right direction. And I look forward to many more times together, for sure.
Yeah.
So thank you, Ellen.
In person next time.
I hope so too. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I'll see you soon again.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.